Alrighty, hello and welcome to Game 2 of the Best of 3 in the AD2L Intermediate League playoffs between Girth Shakers and Xp-Leechers. Last game, Xp-Leechers put on a convincing display, and this game we will have to see how it goes. I feel like a lot of last game came down to the draft, and Xp-Leechers actually are going to go ahead and ban exactly the same 3 heroes in this draft. They say, you know, we did what we wanted last time, and it worked. We're just going to do it again. Girth Shakers, meanwhile, are adjusting their band a little bit, sticking with the Kunkka, but taking out that Crystal Maiden that vexed them so much in the laning phase, and thinking a lot about how they're going to handle this third ban as well. I really feel like Girth Shakers just need to maybe pick some stronger lanes or some heroes that are more comfortable for them. It did feel like they were... Like, they picked heroes that were good for the game, but maybe not heroes that were great for the players, right? So we'll just have to see how they decide to play this out as they figure out what their third ban is going to be. Honestly, I would consider getting rid of the SF. That was a real, like... The matchup between SF and OD, even though OD's been nerfed, I feel like should still generally go in OD's favor, just with the ability to deny so effectively with that Astral. So maybe they just need to get rid of the Shadow Fiend in this game. Or maybe they want to get rid of the Necro. Like, he didn't do a whole lot in lane, but he was plenty safe, like, was never going to die, and gave them so much sustain for pushing up the high ground. We'll just have to... But... Man, they're going all the way to the end here. Did... Girth Shakers lose their drafter? Interesting.
They're just toying with us
now. We'll wait for this pick. If this pick goes through and isn't actually done, maybe they made a re-lobby. And I will have to switch back over to that. One moment while I figure out what's up. All right, so there was a lobby remake, and we are getting that set up as I speak. Alright, so we are up and running here in the replacement lobby. Girth Shakers versus Xp-Leechers once again. Game 2 in a best of 3, and the bans for Xp-Leechers are the same as they were. However, the bans for Girth Shakers have been updated. They're going to go ahead and get rid of the Kunkka once again, but they're going to switch over to the Crystal Maiden, and they're going to get rid of the Centaur Warrunner once again as well. So most of the bans here staying in place for both teams, but Girth Shakers do feel like that Crystal Maiden is worth a special call out the way that it was played in the previous game. And honestly, I can see it. Xp-Leechers, however, they say, we already beat you once. We know exactly how to play this again. We have a buffer of a third game if it comes down to it. So we're going to go ahead and pick up the Windrunner, and it's up to you to figure out what you want to do with that. And Girth Shakers, I don't know. I feel like they need to rework their draft a lot more than Xp-Leechers does, right? And I think that they can. I think that the heroes are out there for them to be able to deal with the playstyle that Xp-Leechers put forward, but I definitely feel like they need to have a more sustainable draft. And actually, they're going to go for the Ancient Apparition first pick. So they say, we recognize you did a lot of work with your sustain in that Necro in the last game, and we're not having any of it. So we're just going to go ahead and make sure you can't really have any heal or sustaining heroes. And that's going to make it a lot harder for Xp-Leechers to push uphill. So maybe they go ahead and pick up the Sniper again. It was difficult in the previous game, and Ancient Apparition is definitely even a weaker laner, I think, than the Lion was. But maybe if they're able to get the right bans and picks in, they're able to make that make Xp-Leechers uncomfortable enough with their general healing strategy that they'll just tilt it off, and Girth Shakers are going to take it up. So, and they're going to go for the Elder Titan as well. So a very, very different support duo coming out of Girth Shakers here in their first two picks than the last game. And I like it. I absolutely love these two heroes individually. Together, it just does so much. Like, the extra magic resistance reduction out of the Spirit means A is able to do more damage and potentially kill people who wouldn't otherwise have died with his blast, and the combination of the magic resistance reduction from the Spirit and the magic resistance reduction from the the ice vortexes. If they get any other source of magic damage, Girth Shakers are going to be just pumping out so much. It's going to be very, very difficult for Xp-Leechers to do anything, really, when any fights come up. But Xp-Leechers' response is going to be the Magnus. So they say, we know you're going to want to fight, and we're going to do a better job than you. We're going to go ahead and grab that Magnus, probably for the off lane. It certainly could be for mid lane. We'll have to see how that ends up shaking out in this draft. But Girth Shaker is actually going to go for exactly the same two bans in the second phase as before, with the Slark and the Storm Spirit. Xp-Leechers is going to go ahead and take out that Faceless Void, which they always have in this series, but they're going to pick up the Pugna ban as well in the next phase. So recognizing that Girth Shakers are going to be quite a bit light on actual tower push right now, and potentially looking to pick up a some follow-up tower damage, and the Pango as well. All right. Yeah, so gonna see either some fantastic plays or some fantastic fails. Either way, it'll be exciting. Hopefully it doesn't get stuck in the scenery again. I think that happened last time I cast a game with Pango, and he got like stuck somewhere in between two edges of the same cliff and just bounced back and forth in there forever till he was able to get his Q out. But the Tree Protector picked up for Xp-Leechers as well. So saying, we know you're going to have the AA, but we're going to get a heal that counters that out, and you're not going to do any damage to us, even if we're not going to get the heals with the damage block instances from the Treant. So definitely a strong pickup for Xp-Leechers, and the extra root that he provides, keeping Pango in place, especially since that'll keep him in place even under his ball form. That's going to be a really strong player, I feel like, for Xp-Leechers this game. And in the lanes, like Girth Shakers, they have some okay laners, but it's really hard to deal with, especially with two melee heroes, like a Tree with 106 base damage, or whatever the hell it is now, just throwing his fists at you. Like, what the hell are you supposed to do with that? But Girth Shakers, they have two picks to figure out what the hell they're going to do with that. So we can see how that comes out for them, or at least how they want to try to deal with it. They're running quite far into their bonus time at this point, leaving not a whole lot for their final pick, but maybe they know what that's going to be. They got to figure out what their safe lane is. And gosh, their lanes are kind of weak. I feel like they need like a Sven, but they have so much melee already versus the lanes they're going to have to play against, especially if it's like Magnus Windrunner. That's going to be so difficult regardless of who the pickup is. Maybe it's got to be... they're going to go for the Wraith King. They're going to take the Wraith King out from under Xp-Leechers. And I feel like that's a good pickup for them. Like, Wraith King's an okay laner. He can heal up decently with the Vampiric... Are the crits Vampiric, or is it just the aura? I think it's just the aura for Wraith King. But the crits are as long as you have the aura. So, able to heal up okay with that. And the sustained damage output's pretty good from Windrunner and Magnus, as is the burst. But maybe not quite enough if you have that extra heal. As well as, you know, Stout Shield and armor from Bassi or something. Yeah, that feels like a nice strong laner for them. It is still going to mean that they have 2 melee cores and a melee support so far for Girth Shakers, and that's, you know, certainly manageable. Like, you can deal with that, but their heroes are all really, really kiteable. And Xp-Leechers recognize that. They're going to say, we know exactly what your number is. We're going to pick up this Clinks here. You can't stun us. You can't roll. Well, you can roll over us, but you can't do it over and over again. And we're just going to take all that extra move speed and run around you in circles. So I feel like the Clinks is a really, really good pickup here for Xp-Leechers. Like, their draft is shaping up nicely. Girth Shakers, I do feel like their draft is stronger than last time. But it is going to come down to whether they're able to execute the sort of goal here, right? Like, they don't have any tower push yet. They're going to rely on winning team fights and going uphill, or getting an Aegis and going uphill and not dying long enough to be able to take that. But playing against Magnus with the Shockwave and the power shot of the Windrunner and potentially the Treant Protector just walking up to you under invis and rooting you all in place, and Clinks just banging away at you with those fire arrows, like, it's going to be a hard push up the high ground. And like, with the Pugna gone, Girth Shakers, I don't know if they are going to be able to find the tools to make it, but we'll have to see what their last pick looks like. Maybe they're able to get just such a strong pick-off lineup it doesn't matter. Maybe with the Ember Spirit would give them a whole bunch of melees, but Ember Spirit's not really melee, although he's really vulnerable to Clinks once Clinks gets his Orchid, and Clinks could be the mid laner for Xp-Leechers as well, in which case you do not, under any circumstances, want to have an Ember in that lane. So, man, it's difficult. I don't see what Girth Shakers do to win this drafting phase. Now, with higher execution, you know, clearly they can win the game even without dominating the draft phase, but it's much harder. Clearly. And Xp-Leechers, they're going to go ahead and go to the Lina here as this last pick. And, yeah, Lina does actually feel like it could make a difference for Girth Shakers. But how are they going to round out their draft? So if Clinks is mid, and they're going to pick up a safe lane, I feel like they can afford to be greedy. So that would be like a Spectre, or are they going to go for the Monkey King? Ooh, and that also leaves them open. Like, Monkey King can be their mid, or he can be their safe lane. Clinks can, or he can be their off lane, and Clinks can be any of those positions as well, and Magnus can be the off lane to the mid, and even like a solo safe. So Xp-Leechers can choose where to put their cores based on what they think Girth Shakers are doing, and I feel like almost any lane matchup, like, they will be able to be dominant. But it's up to Girth Shakers to round this out. They have 10 seconds to figure out what their last pick is going to be here. They have to win at least one lane, and this has to be a mid. So maybe it's a Quap. Oh, they're gonna go for the Invoker. All right, exciting game this is going to be. So it looks like Chris is going to be on... He was in the off lane last time, but on the position 1 Wraith King, so maybe he's off lane, maybe safe with the Clinks. Yalo last time was the solo safe lane... Necrophos. So we do at least know that Hurricane's going to be mid, but it's difficult to say where these cores otherwise are going to be going for Xp-Leechers, just based off the last game. I don't know if Chris is always in the off lane or how that works, but... Presumably, Girth Shakers are more familiar, and they've decided to, go for the typical lane to expect with this lineup. So as we go ahead and get into the game, we can introduce all of our players here shortly, as soon as the load screen actually finishes. All right, there we go. Here for the Dire team, Xp-Leechers, Hurricane is going to be on that mid Monkey King. XPL going to be roaming around with the Windrunner. Tango Tree doing the same as the Treant Protector. Yalo, it looks like it's going into the... Okay, Chris is going into the off lane with the Clinks, and Yalo is going into the safe lane with the Magnus. Meanwhile, on the... Girth Shaker's side, looks like Demenis is going to be picking that Pango and going into the offlane. Build-A-Bear, McSnazzy playing the Elder Titan in the same place. Minmus coming here on the AA and playing in the safe lane to support his Wraith King, picked up by B. Brown. And in mid lane, we will see that Invoker played by Joshua. So, man, Wraith King or Monkey King is already out here. Did he took the Jingo level 1. He has to have turned into a courier to place his ward, right? Was he given a ward? Who has them? One here on Windrunner and one here on Treant. So actually, I cannot see his name. It was definitely don't have to look at this. It was Hurricane. They should, I guess it makes sense they don't show the name, but at least in spectator mode they should show the name. Like, it's not like we don't know his Monkey King. So, hopefully going to see some clash here in the top lane. It looks like actually both teams are going to want to go for some manner of aggressive play. But in their own respective off lanes. Might be 2 and 2 once again, just on opposite sides of the map instead of being one in each lane. So, having some connectivity issues. But I did see something that was really interesting. This Invoker set, I don't think I've seen like any of these items before. And I can't really get in and look at it. Can I see it? Ah, yes, I can. Haha. I wonder how many of these you can use with the Immortals at the same time. Like, I really, really like that. Like, this is clearly a very dumb... a very dumb collar, but I like it. So I would like to be able to use that collar with other Invoker items. I don't know if it's actually possible, but I would enjoy it. What else we got? Wraith King coming at you with that new Immortal. Nice cape and everything. Elder Titan, I don't know if this is all standard or not. I don't play that hero enough to be sure what's standard and what's not. Gonna see the Immortal also here on Mr. Arctic on the Ancient Apparition. What do we got for Pango? Does Pango even have items? I don't know if Pango like has items on his character. I guess he does. He has a couple. Oh, he has an Immortal, I presume, and a Taunt. I presume those are from, like, this chest, or maybe, like, the last one? I don't know. A couple of cash stuff. The Immortal is?
The Pango Immortal? There's a Will Immortal, Taunt, and Pango when they came out. There's a bundle.
Ah, okay.
Courier.
I don't remember that, but maybe I just was not paying enough attention. Monkey King. We can't look at his items because he's a tree. So, GG. He does have that Staff of Ginyu, which is the Immortal, but does not have the Arcana. Come on, get good. Spend all of your money on Dotes. Windrunner, what she got? Completely barren Windrunner. No items at all. GG. I think XP will lose off that alone. No items on their Windrunner. So, Magnus with the Immortal. Decent set.
That's not the immortal.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Nope.
Oh, it's not. It just has the ambient effect unlock, which she doesn't have. I really don't like these like ambient effect unlock items. At least ones that you can't get from just using them. The ones you have to have like a special event-based pass.
Yeah, it should.
Let's see. So, Tramp Protector. Whoops. What do you got? The Mask of the Splintering and a bunch of other splintering items. That's okay. What do you have on Clinks? Clinks has the Immortal Back, which is the Arrow Cauldron. That actually looks pretty sick. Like, I like that the arrows are on fire for a reason this way. Ah, here we go. We have... What button do I have bound to this? Well, we have everyone back in the game. Should be able to unpause here shortly. Meanwhile, I suppose we can take a look at these as well. EG fan over here. I concur, Mr. Tribute Dimenis. You have the best banner. As does Jugger Tits from B Brown. Quite. All right, mid lane. We do go ahead and see the Pango out here already. Looks like Joshua is running out. Trying to get that Observer Ward down, but... You know, he's going to have that envision. He's going to see the tree, though. Like, it's not going to actually be anything. XPL is able to get... or not able to get his ward down, rather. He's looking to try to get his down, but is going to have to do it in full view of Girth Shaker's ward if he wants to do so. So, rather JM. Is this... yeah, this is a stand-in. So they have a new player for their Windrunner this game. Yallo, meanwhile, looks like he's going to try for the rune. Is going to go ahead and push off to Menace using that skewer and able to take that out. 2 for 2 in each lane. No real major engagements going on. And both mids just blocking up their creeps. Happy to do what they can do. However, Hurricane going to miss his block. So maybe it's an overblock by Joshua. That's what he's got to hope for at least. And yep, that is going to be just inside tower range. So going to rebound back and Hurricane's going to be happy that he's able to get that. So mid lane I feel like is where there's going to be a lot of action if Hurricane is able... Well, maybe there's not. Oh. I didn't know you could turn into the courier when it was not next to you or when you weren't in base. The things you know. So here in bottom lane, Chris able to farm up, or is gonna go ahead and start using those fire arrows to farm up. And Tree sitting over here under invis. Oh, we do see in top lane. How did that even happen? Looks like they just ran him down. Yallo maybe was able to pull him back into the tower or something. And ended up dying to creeps. Meanwhile, in bottom lane, we're going to see quite a bit of damage here out onto Minimus from those fire arrows. But not enough to get the kill. Mid lane, a bit of an early advantage going to Jaw 827. He's actually going to try to go onto Joshua here. He's going to go ahead and get the Jingu Mastery stacks. He's going to go for... Oh, he's trying so hard. He might have going down. Creeps are going to kill him. Actually, last hit is going to come out for Joshua. I thought that the last right click didn't quite finish him off. Maybe there was some cold snap residual. The creeps triggered or something for that. But... so much attempt by Hurricane there to take down Joshua with the Jingu Mastery stacks and a Boundless Strike, but not enough to finish him, and he ends up just giving away his life in the lane. And Joshua able to go ahead and heal up relatively quickly with those Qua stacks and Tango used as well. And he's just bullying Hurricane at this point. Like, Hurricane has quite a bit of CS over him, but if Joshua was able to force Hurricane out of the lane again, like, the CS is just going to, you know, very quickly go back his way. And XP is going to be really what we're looking for in this lane anyway. Can you hit the courier? I'm pretty sure you can. Like, I don't ever play, like, against Monkey King in lane, so I'm not entirely sure how that all goes down. Looks like the tree was taken out. Is there a sentry that finished him? Yeah, there's a sentry over here, so was able to get vision. I assume there was a Wraith Fire Blast involved. B Brown able to get that last hit as well. Take out the Train Protector, and gonna be totally happy for the way that this lane is starting out. So far, 2 lanes. Gonna have some kills in favor of Girth Shakers this time rather than XPL. And in mid lane, it's going to be, in terms of CS, like, it's totally dominant in favor of Hurricane. And if Hurricane's able to continue that, like, it doesn't really matter that he lost his life here very early. Looks like there's going to be a bit of engagement here in bottom lane. Going to be some fire arrows here out onto Minmus. Tango Tree is going to get frozen up. However, Minmus might go down. Chris is actually going to go for him really hard here, looking for the final right click. Not going to find him. Just going to go ahead and throw some more fire arrows here out onto B Brown. Meanwhile, in top lane, there's an exchange 1-for-1. Winner goes down, but McSnazzy dies in return. And support for support, not really going to be too meaningful in either direction in that lane, except that I think maybe having that HP and mana refilled is a little bit more meaningful for XPL, or for JM rather. Here, back in mid lane, it looks like we're going to see a rotation by McSnazzy, just to make Monkey King feel a little bit unsafe, but it's not really going to... Not really going to dissuade him too much. He's just going to go ahead and pick up that regen rune. Joshua trying to see us here under tower, but it's really hard this low level to make that happen. Meanwhile, in bottom lane, Chris is able to finish off B Brown with some fire arrows. I presume he got rooted in place as well, but yeah, it's hard to tell from that. Mid lane, it looks like the Boundless Strike is going to be canceled from just from Cold Snap procs. However, Hurricane is going to be able to get that last Jingo Mastery stack, and looks like he's going to use that to heal himself up, push Joshua in, make him a little bit unhappy to be here. Well, a lot unhappy to be here. Definitely can be frustrating when you're just getting rolled by like a melee hero. Although, to be fair, I don't think Monkey King's a melee hero, really. He is for classification purposes, but So, looks like I'm going to go here on a B Brown, or at least Tango Tree is looking for an opportunity. Maybe they're going to go on to Minmus here. There's going to be the root as well as the Leech Seed. However, Clink's Chris was forced back, so just going to be a little bit of damage put out. Not a whole lot of actual action in that case. Meanwhile, in top lane, I mean, right now it's... all the lanes are kind of steady at this point. And although Girth Shakers did have an early lead in terms of their kills and CS, there's going to be the root here now to Minmus once again. They're going to go for the Wraith Fire Blast, as well as... nope, there's not going to be a cold feet, actually, that was already used onto Chris. So, looking for another right click, it looks like, onto Minmus. Tango Tree just sitting around, and Minmus, he says, I see your sentries, and I actually just want to go get these runes instead. So, he's going to pick those up. Meanwhile, McSnazzy in top lane is able to get a Spirit Stomp out onto Yallow, but not anything else going to come out of that. So, the lanes, you know, early on, they were looking like they were fairly well in favor of Girth Shakers. At least given their early kills and rotations. And actually, we're going to see here a Shackle Shot onto Invoker. Joshua going to try to turn around onto Hurricane, getting the Cold Snap off, and along with the Ice Wall, might survive. Yeah, it looks like he's going to survive this rotation from McSnazzy. Going to go for the Stomp. Is not quite able to get it off onto Monkey King, but it looks like they are going to go ahead and be able to take out the Windrunner. Tango Tree sitting on here. It's going to get spotted by the tower. A little bit of right-click damage coming out onto him. Well, a lot of right-click damage coming out onto him, but not enough to kill him off. So that rotation does end up going in favor of Joshua, actually, where XPL tried to rotate 3 heroes in, but it was not sufficient to kill him off. But what I was saying is that the CS is actually in favor, and the net worth are both in favor of XPL, even though in terms of kills, like, the lanes have been a little static or even not in their favor. But all the heroes are just farming efficiently enough that they're able to take this lead anyway. And yeah, Hurricane here, pretending to be the flying courier. Looks like he was trying to get Joshua to come in. Just going to boundless strike him, so he's able to get that last out in the range creep, keep it from being denied. And now he's going to push this in. Maybe he's going to run after. There's going to be the Cold Snap and Ice Wall combo. Once again, Hurricane is going to take a bit of damage from that. And Joshua says, you know, I know what you're trying to do, and I'm going to keep that from coming down in my lane. Thank you very much. So now we're going to see rotation here. It looks like Tree is headed back towards bottom lane. Is there a sentry here? Yes, there is a sentry for Girth Shakers. And ward goes down, but it's immediately dewarded here. Tango Tree is not going to be happy about that. Meanwhile, on top lane, there's going to be a Stomp as well as a Sunstrike, but Sunstrike is not quite going to hit. However, it doesn't matter. The combination of the Shield Crash and the Swashbuckle are sufficient to take out this Windrunner as she stays in lane while Yalo comes over here to farm. So now they're going to go forward, take the Swashbuckle, take a whole bunch of creeps away from Yalo, as well as some HP, which is going to force him back to the Shrine, but the Shrine was already used, so he's just going to walk back to base, it looks like. Meanwhile, it looks like Tango Tree is rotating back in towards mid, wants to get here onto Joshua. And Hurricane doesn't have the phase yet, but he does, yeah, he has the money for it, so he's going to go ahead and pick that up. But maybe they wait, maybe they don't for the phase to actually get here on the courier. We'll have to see how they decide to play it out. Meanwhile, actually they're going to go here. 1 right click, 2 stacks of Jingu. Maybe. Oh, Hurricane's going to go for the Boundless Strike as well as a 4th stack of Jingu. Now there's going to be the right click Rooting in place. However, there's going to be the Meatball Tornado combo onto Hurricane, and he's going to end up going down to that dot from the Meatball. So an attempt at a rotation, and Invoker is able to survive it up and make it go. Tango Tree trying to walk out of that Earth Splitter coming from Mixnazi, but he is going to get caught up in it, and that's probably going to be the end of him. Yeah, Joshua actually gets the last hit with a lot of right-click damage. Holy crap. He has 5 points in Exhort. Does quite a bit of damage once he has those Exhort balls invoked. I suppose there was also the armor reduction. There's some natural order going on. Yeah, the armor reduction certainly didn't help. In top lane, I just heard an RP, and it was not sufficient to, or not in the right place. D-Menace is able to go ahead and swashbuckle away from that RP, so that's gotta hurt. Meanwhile, XPL is just running towards the bounty rune. D-Menace is going to go ahead and get his, and in top lane looks like might be 3 bounty runes in favor of Girth Shakers. So overall, this game is a lot more even here in the laning phase. It feels like Girth Shakers taking a slight lead in kills, and XPL taking actually, I was going to say a slight lead in net worth, but actually they've turned it around. They have lost their lead in net worth at this point. Here is a stomp play onto Tango Tree. They're able to go ahead and get the actual stun out, but Tango Tree is invisible and there's no detection, so no further play here. And XPL rotate 3 heroes up to presumably take this tower, and actually they're simultaneously rotating Chris here out onto Invoker. And that is going to be a proper kill this time. Chris showing up with the medallion and just firing those fire arrows out until Joshua finally goes down. There's the stomp here out onto Windrunner. She is going to be wind running for the time being. And actually, there's going to be the sleep stays on for a while. D-Menace doing so much with that ball there. Able to get the swashbuckle out to finish off the Windrunner in the backside. All set up by a single stomp and turning around on those cliffs very adeptly. Hurricane, meanwhile, is going to go ahead and try to correct this net worth discrepancy in mid lane with a couple last hits, and is going to go ahead and get that off. Chris, meanwhile, is able to find another kill in bottom lane, as well as a shackle shot here onto B Brown. He has his ult, but maybe he doesn't want to use it right now. He doesn't have to, though. He's going to go ahead and just walk away. Chris does not want to chase him down that far. Meanwhile, mid lane looks like another setup coming in here onto Joshua. They want to go ahead and send Tango Tree after him once again. DG bottom, but neither team sees that just yet. There's going to be an AA Blast coming mid lane, and it's going to go here onto Hurricane, followed by the, or rather immediately preceded by the Sunstrike. And he's going to have to run away at this point. Courier, however, it's not enough. He gets one right click, but the Courier is going to get ulted up, invulnerabilified. Dust comes out from Mr. Snazzy. Tango Tree walking through the trees under the cover of dusk, but also under the cover of night, so it is not going to be super consequential. There's going to be the Leech Seed as well as the rotation in. Oh my gosh, Hurricane, you're so close right now. Don't walk into the ice wall, as well as the Sunstrike and the ice wall. But now D-Menace actually coming through, misses the shrapnel. Oh, the AA Blast comes back and finishes him off. There's going to be a 2-man deafening blast, but it's not quite going to kill off RB. And actually now Yalo comes in, showing that Blink Dagger, gets a 3-man RP. D-Menace uses the Swashbuckle to finish off Chris on the backside, but he is the only one to get away from his team in that engagement, thanks to the RP showing here from Yali. Tango Tree getting away with almost nothing. The whole thing started because he had almost nothing, and not almost nothing. The whole thing started based on him getting dusted up and chased down, but able to use all that HP, effectively. Lures them in, kills them off, and net worth still, pretty even, but maybe falling back in favor of XPL a little bit. But back in mid lane, Hurricane and Joshua going at it once again. Balance Strike actually used just for the stun and the last on the range creep. Does take quite a bit of damage for it though. It's a costly maneuver there. Probably worth it. And looks like he's going to go for that Echo Saber as his first item. Try to make some work happen around the map once he has that available. And Chris, meanwhile, is going for Tread's Orchid, and that Orchid's going to be huge for him. Like, he's going to be able to pick off anybody on the map except for the Wraith King once he has that Orchid finished, and he knows it, so that's why he's rushing that up. Well, he didn't rush it up, but that's why he's getting that as quickly as he can after he finishes that medallion. D-Menace, meanwhile, just farming out the top lane, keeping it pushed so that it's very obvious if Yalo chooses to leave again and try to get another 3-man RP. And mid lane's been given over to Minmus at this point. He's got his level 6. In fact, has his level 8, but he's trying to get some decent items up. Surely he wants those arcane boots, or at least the tranquils. There's going to be an ice blast coming down into bottom lane. Looks like they're going to try to defend this tower off of it, but going to be just out of range. And meanwhile, B Brown is going to be able to sit in the tower for the time being. He has the armlet. Looks like maybe he wants to go. Has some dust as well. Meanwhile, actually, we're going to see Hurricane take out some heroes in the top lane. D-Menace just barely able to get away. Yalo is under the effect of that meatball for quite some time. And now Joshua is able to finish him off on the backside. Tree coming in, using the root, but he is going to get Hellfire blasted on the backside. The Invoker Sunstrike comes through, but not going to hit anybody. Tango Tree just walking back into the base. The Ice Wall is going to make sure that it's more difficult. Oh, but now the Wraith King goes down for his first life at least. And the Disarm, however, comes out and hits onto 3. Another Hellfire blast out onto Hurricane, followed up by the Swashbuckle, and he is going to go down to a final right click from Joshua. So Girth Shaker's taking some control here in the early mid game of the way this game is being played. Meanwhile, bottom lane is probably going to go down here. Or at least Chris wants to go ahead and try to take this tier 1 bottom in exchange for the tier 1 top. Doesn't look like they're actually going to get it though. He's not able to push it out as quickly as he would like to make that play actually happen. So, and Minmus even gets to stick down here and say, I survived being alone with a Clinks for like a minute. It's like a record for an AA, right? But now XPL is trying to get some farm from mid lane. It looks like he's going to go for the Blink Dagger as his first major item. And do we have the Echo Saber finished? Echo Saber is almost finished for Hurricane. He has almost enough money for it. And after the blink, it looks like the BKB is coming out for Yalo as his next item choice. And what is... This is a meme hammer, right? I think this is a meme hammer. AA Blast comes down here into bottom. Chris is taking a bit of damage. Actually doesn't come in. Oh, he's going to get Sunstruck. Oh my gosh, what a placement. Meanwhile, on top lane, or mid lane, there's going to be a Stomp out, but it's not going to get anybody. There's going to be the RP, though, onto 3, followed up by the Monkey King ult, and that's going to be huge. However, Joshua comes in, gets a 3-man disarm off with the Deafening Blast, but he's going to get chased down. He's going to be able to get the invisibility off before he ends up dying to Windrunner. Build-A-Bear here running in and is actually able to survive that even. And now Joshua turning back around, using the Alacrity and finishing off Windrunner on the backside. That is 4-0 in favor of Girth Shakers right now. That is absolutely huge. And they didn't even have all their heroes there. Like, they didn't even have an Ice Blast because that was used already on the Clinks, and he didn't have mana for it regardless. So in a 4v4 fight, they come out ahead, you know, 4-0. So D-Menace now pushing this. Also the Alacrity creeps pushing forward, and the Forge Spirit. Just a whole lot of damage onto this mid-tier 2 tower off of that, as well as the tier 1 tower going down. And this does feel like it's falling out of XPL's control a little bit. They had all of their heroes on top of that worth chart just, you know, 5-6 minutes ago, and now all 3 of the cores for Girth Shakers are on top instead. So Girth Shakers, bit by bit, taking control of this game and ensuring that they're able to live for a third in this best of 3. So meanwhile, everyone on the map just trying to farm up a little bit, just trying to, especially for XPL, like they know that they're behind and they want to try and get some major items put together. And it looks like they do finally have that Echo Saber coming out for Hurricane. Yalo doesn't have his BKB, but he's not going to have that for quite some time. XPL, though, he's not going to have his Blink for a while either. Do we have the Orchid on Clinks? No, we don't have the Orchid on Clinks, so it's going to be a while. It's been a really difficult few minutes for XPL, and Girth Shakers just pushing up into mid, and probably going to go back and take Roche off of this maybe. If they're able to get to any kind of pick-off, they might just move back towards bottom and push that in instead. Bottom tower is going to go down for the Radiant. But, oh, they're going to push up high ground. Alright, this is really greedy, but if it works, it's going to be a huge like turnaround for them in terms of the way this game's being played. And it does not look like XPL are going to be able to respond in time. The RP is down for 90 seconds still. That's the tier 3, and they're going to go for these range tracks, just take them down. The shrines are going to be open, and even with everybody back, like, that range tracks is down. And now they're going to try for the play. D-Menace is able to go ahead and get away with his Swashbuckle, and actually, they're just going to turn around onto the tree, who gets the 4-man, gets the 4-man stun, but now with the Cold Feet and the Sunstrike, they're going to turn on Monkey King as well. So they lose only their AA in order to take out the mid barracks at 20 minutes and get a couple of kills on the backside. So Girth Shakers definitely making it work in this game with their draft up, and a lot of it feels like is coming off the back of like super comfort picks. Like clearly Game Shark, like just looking at the thing, clearly, you know, AA and Invoker are very favored by their players, or by Joshua and Minmus, and the way they're playing this game is just, you know, on point. They know what they want, and they're going to take it. So now at this point, it looks like, oh boy, Girth Shakers are going to go ahead and pull back, and the Aghanim's was finished with that fight for Invoker, but I didn't call it out, and he also has another 1,300 gold on top of that. Meme Hammer, looks like Meme Hammer is going to be abandoned, and Elder Titan's going to go ahead and pick up, no, Meme Hammer wasn't on him, that was on, or Meteor Hammer was on Tango. And yeah, it looks like he's still going to go ahead and try to take that, but going to have an ATOS here shortly for Elder Titan. Looks like Force Staff coming out for Minmus. And we still don't have even an Oblivion staff for Chris. So it's going to be a hard game for them to come forward in. Yalo working towards that BKB. He's about a little over halfway there at this point. And looks like Hurricane, he's going to go for the the Diffusal. So he's going to try to hold people in place a little bit more. And XPL, they know that this game is like hard for them right now. And it's even harder to like hold their high ground with the amount of strength that Girth Shakers are sort of peaking at here in the way that their heroes' timings work out. Although in the late game, they're still gonna have another one that is just as strong, it feels like. But another tier 2 down. Girth Shakers gonna go ahead and move over to the shrine at this point. And they are looking like they're gonna be able to take this to a game 3 in very convincing fashion. McSnazzy sitting over here is gonna try to get the stomp off, but not quite gonna find him. Hurricane, however, is gonna get pulled out with the tornado, as well as the follow-up by the follow-up by the meatball, and with the cold snap, that's gonna be a cancel on. I hear a Sunstrike. Where do I hear a Sunstrike? I don't know where I did that. I think it was here in mid lane. Is that gonna be the end of Chris? I bet he took the Sunstrike damage. No, he didn't take the Sunstrike damage. So I don't know where that Sunstrike was, but Chris going to go down as well. Dust being carried by B Brown over here, and happy to just run at the Clinks and say, you know, I'm where I want to be. But GG is called. Girth Shakers go ahead and win game 2. It is going to go to a game 3 tonight, so, you know, first time we've seen that in quite some time. And XBL, they say we want to try our draft again. We think we know what's up. We did ban the Invoker last game, and we forgot to do it this time, so we're going to go ahead and get rid of it next time. I'm sure that's what they're thinking at this point. And let's go ahead and get ourselves in the next game.